There are times when the thought of selling a house feels more like a burden than a fresh start, especially if the home is hoarded or the property needs lots of love. But letting go doesn't have to be an impossible task. Laurel Buys Houses is here to lift the weight off the process and show us how easy it can be to sell your house. Let's welcome the lady in the hat, the one and only Laurel Sagan, owner of Laurel Buys Houses. Hello.
Hello.
I feel like I'm meeting a celebrity. I see your commercials all the time, Laurel.
Me too. I'm like we've been fangirling out here for a minute.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got you in studio.
Right.
I'm excited about it and the work you do. First off, tell us about yourself and what inspired you to start Laurel Buys Houses.
Well, this is my third career, and I was buying houses for rentals and fixing them up and renting them out, and I hated the landlording part, but I love the fixing it up part, right? So I got my contractor's license, started doing that, was doing that with realtors the normal way most people do. And then one day I was doing a final walk through a house, and there was this older woman with a walker, and she was in the living room, and she was just weeping. I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? And her realtor had told her she needed to get everything out of the house by Friday.
Oh, wow.
And she said, I have no way to do that. I go, oh, no, I have a crew. This is okay. Sit down, I got you. And that's kind of when I realized that not everybody can sell their house the traditional way, right? The house needed a lot of work, and they had sold it as a fixer-upper, but she needed more than just a lot of work. So then I started creating our business, going straight to people, creating resources to help people who needed assisted living or hoarding. And went from there. And after that, I've just been solving people's problems and figuring it out.
What advice would you give to someone who's unsure about whether to sell their home?
Well, you know, there's different ways to sell your home. First of all, whether or not to sell your home depends on, because your home primarily is not an investment. It's where you live. It is your grounding. If your home is not safe or not serving you, then you should look at it, or if there's something that would be better for you. You know, I even wrote a book about people who need to move into assisted living and what they should consider, and I have checklists about whether or not you should sell your house, keep it and rent it out, whatever. And so we also will sit down and we'll tell you exactly what you could get for it if you sold it on the open market and fixed it up with a realtor, what you could get without fixing up on the open market with a realtor or with us as a cash buyer. Because we feel like people need information.
And you mentioned you wrote a book. You also wrote a book about hoarding. Hoarding, I mean, for families dealing with hoarding, the thought of selling a home, I mean, that can be overwhelming in itself. So how does your team support these homeowners through that specific process?
Great. Well, you have to remember the person who's hoarding, it is a mental issue as well as a psychological and physical issue. And it's usually not safe, but the person, you can kind of imagine somebody who goes overboard to a point where it's health and safety, there's like a hole they're trying to fill, right? And if you just come in there with force and tell them, look, you got to move, this isn't, you know, it doesn't work. They're adults and they're allowed to do this. So you got to sit down with them on their side of the table and create what we call a new, brighter future. And I have a background in social working. One of the careers I had was in social work, and so we work with people to create what is their new, brighter future. And then I have someone on my team whose whole job is to find a good home for their stuff. People just want to know there's going to be a good home for their stuff.
Laurel, you're a people person.
That's what I do.
And you're making people feel comfortable. I'm going to let them know how they can get a hold of you. Thank you for joining us.
Hey, it was so much fun.
I agree. To our viewers, you can find out more at laurelbuyshouses.com.